You're facing the wrong way, sir.
Alright, give me the money!
Will that be from your savings or your checking account, sir?
Savings.
May I please see some identification?
Sure, there you go.
Thank you. Sir, we are showing a balance of $0.00 for both of your accounts.
Oh.
Next!
Alright, hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. So, for those people who are new to the channel, I did this last year, and what I do is that after a week end or a week during the LCS or the LEC, I recap the 2 days or now 3 days of competition since the LCS has gotten extended to 3 days. Now, this LEC week 1 started off pretty interesting, actually. You had a lot of hype going into this actual week. Origen, Fnatic, G2, all big powerhouse teams making some huge changes in the offseason. You even had smaller teams like Rogue and Excel also making their big enough changes to the point where a lot of people thought that they were actually going to be really strong teams. Then you could not forget God-given graces his presence in the LEC once again. After not playing for so long, wasn't because he wanted to not play. It was because of his country's obligation to do military service, just like they do in Korea, actually. So you have all these storylines going into the LEC right when this week kicked off, and I'll have to say, my first thoughts about it was teams were playing at a lower level, but you can tell there was a higher level that they wanted to play at. But showing that right now basically means that you don't want to really show all your cards right now. This week, a lot of teams talked about during their post-game interviews that they obviously just wanted to, feel each other out, see how they play on stage versus how they play in scrims. We saw a lot of rookie talent enter the LEC, some good, some bad. I'm really bad with the names right now, so give me like a few weeks and I'll remember them actually. But for most of what I'm going to actually discuss, I'll just do it by team basis. If I remember all the players' names, then I'll go over each player individually. But all these new rookies and these new rosters with a lot of these rookies, some of these names I'm not exactly remembering right now, but I will remember them in the up and coming weeks. So let's just start with my disappointments. So, unbest known to anybody, and a lot of the Schalke fans that are in EU right now, they are actually really disappointed in Schalke. And, the guy from the Schalke color, I can't forget his name, was his name Darius? Darius from the Schalke color, actually. He was more like a EU Travis, as a lot of people would call him. He actually talked about on Twitter today that a lot of the Schalke fans were actually really mad, at Schalke for going 0-2, and I can kind of understand where they're coming from. They've been losing for a very long time, and to be fair, most of the EU orgs not named, G2 and Fnatic are obviously, going to be losing quite consistently, but even if you can't beat those two individual organizations consistently, they have a roster that a lot of people got behind. Otawamne, Gilius, Abadage, Forgiven, and Dreams. And they played a really, really close game against Excel. Forgiven talked about it on his Facebook page that it was really close. They made a lot of individual macro mistakes. I don't think it was more or less so Excel playing just that much better than them. I just think that, they made a lot of mid-game mistakes. They made a lot of errors around the Baron pit. You could see them, getting real antsy. They would probably not normally do these type of things, but it's week 1. All your jitters are out. You got to get the stage rust off, and I understand why they're mad, but do keep in mind, if you are from EU and you are a Schalke fan, it is only week 1. They can definitely turn the season around. But I was disappointed in their performance. I was more disappointed in their performance today against Origen than I was against Excel yesterday, because I feel like if they won against Excel already, then their performance against Origen today would have got them another win. They realistically, if they beat Excel, which they probably should have, they would have been 1-1. Origen was still going to demolish them anyway. But I don't think that this roster is, blow up it right now. It's going all this shit, No, it's literally week 1. You're 0-2. You can bounce back. Now, if you say this next week, I'll more understand you because now you're 0-4. That is pause for concern because Fnatic almost didn't make playoffs last year when they went 0-4. So that is actually something you might want to be concerned with. But I think Forgiven played individually fine. He played great, actually. You could even see when they were losing to Origen, he was still up in CS. He's still really good. I don't even know how that's possible. Dude hasn't played since like 2016 competitively and is still really good. I don't even know how that's even possible, but Gilius is just trash. Let's be honest here, guys. Gilius is just complete dog shit. But, you know what I mean? It's just week 1. It's okay. They can improve. Alright, so Misfits just look like they're on crack and not trying nor caring. None of them look like they even give a rat's flying fuck that they're on the stage. Oh my god, Febivin is just, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why he's playing the way he's playing. Misfits look like the 10th place team. I know that Vitality also looked kind of bad too, but at least Vitality looked like they had some life in them. Misfits just look like trash. I mean, they're the actual 10th place team. I mean, if I was doing power rankings right now, my god, Misfits would be like 20th place because they look like dog crap. I mean, like, it's not much I can really say. Like I said before, I don't really, know all the names of the new guys consistently, but Dan really not too hot on him right now. Febivin, and that new bot lane, oh god, man, Misfits are like 20th place. My god, whatever. This team sucks. Like, they played like they're on crack or something. They literally went outside, smoked like 3 blunts, and were like, hey, we're playing on stage, guy? Yeah, crap. We gotta face Fnatic. I mean, Febin's like, I did solo kill Faker on that team, but I've been kind of on the decline since then, so, it doesn't really matter. Like, Misfits are complete garbage right now. They need to, like, go and play like 800 scrims to improve. I'm not kidding. People think I'm joking. I'm not kidding. They actually look like that trash. Alright, so Misfits, Schalke, Mad Lions, I was actually really surprised by them. I think they could be a potential dark horse team. They actually have some really good individual players. I can see it just by watching these few games. And I like what I saw out of them. People were really hyped about them from the Spanish community. And I actually am pleasantly, genuinely happy that we get to see a team like that. They have a lot of good individual players. Like I said before, I can't remember all the names yet, but I did see some good things about them. Dark horse team, I'll say they're a light dark horse team. But they did play good. They played well against G2 for a little bit, but you could kind of see that when G2 started using their brains, it was kind of over for them. Alright, so let's go with the other team people had to talk about this week was Excel. Excel looked a lot better. I mean, talk about massive improvements from last year to this year. They made a lot of improvements. Kudos to them. They managed to take on Schalke. They were neck and neck with Rogue for a little bit there, so I'm really optimistic about this XL roster. I think that it actually has a lot of good things about them right now. Most of the players were playing pretty well. Mickey played really awful these past couple of days, but you know what I'm saying? This is actually a good step in the right direction. I'm glad they made these changes, and their macro improved, their solo lanes improved. They improved all the way around. I just think that their issue is that they don't have an in-game decisive leader yet, and maybe that will be Norscarin. So, you know, I'm really happy that XL made all these changes. Alright, so who's the next team? So I talked about XL, Mad Lions, Misfits, Schalke, Vitality. Let's go with SK Gaming, because a lot of you guys like SK Gaming. Alright, so SK didn't look bad per se. I'm not really sure what to say about them right now. They played pretty well against Vitality, but then lost to G2, as, you know, most people already expect that. But they did have some points in the G2 game where they were actually pretty competitive. So, Sakurai, still pretty good. That new guy they have down the bot lane, Limit, is that his name? Pretty decent overall from what I saw. I don't think SK have a bad roster this time around. I think they actually have some good pieces with them. Last year, we got a lot of flame for saying they were going to be pretty bad, and well, lo and behold, they were pretty bad. But I think Trick, Sakurai, and Gen X are actually pretty good individual players, in their own rights. Gen X looked like he was getting a little bit outclassed this week, but, it is, week 1, so do take that with a grain of salt. I like this new SK Gaming roster. I think they have a lot of potential. Not as much as the other guys I mentioned, like Mad Lions and Excel, but I like what I saw out of SK this week, though. Alright, so let's go with Team Vitality. Yeah, I haven't talked about them yet. Trash. Just completely trash. I mean, not as bad as Misfits. So, for me, I would have Misfits 10th, Vitality 9th. Vitality looked like they had some life in them in their second game. And the first game, you could kind of see it. But, Jack Troll, come on, people. Cabochard played pretty bad overall in these past couple days. Jack Troll, as I mentioned before, is, it's Jack Troll. And then, the new mid side for Vitality is pretty new to the league. So, I think this roster has something there, because you did see signs of life in them. I'm just not too sure where it's all gonna fit at. But I could see this roster, obviously doing well later on in the split if they somehow put any level of thought into what they're doing. Alright, so that kind of breaks us into our next teams. Rogue started 2-0. I couldn't wait, sorry. That's the wrong pronunciation. Oh my lord, can I speak English, please? I could not have done that Rogue video because I was super busy, but my 4th place team for the LEC was Rogue, actually. My top 2 were G2 and Fnatic, Origen, then Rogue, and Rogue played pretty well all week. I mean, they were pretty close against Excel, but overall, I thought they were actually pretty good. You know what I mean? Larson individually pretty great. With their new addition of Hansama in the bot lane, you saw that make a huge difference from having Hikyu and Woolite. Finn and Inspired played pretty well overall. I thought that what's the top laner's name? Finn. He actually did flanks really well. Inspired really got the early game going for them, and you got to see them play out macro consistently better than they did in these last past splits we just had last year. So I'm really happy for Rogue. Good job to them. They already were going in strong from last year. Coming into this year, I think they're just going to be toward that upper echelon of teams from the LEC. Congrats to Rogue. You got an actual AD carry. Now you're starting to win some games. All right. Next team is going to be Origen. Origen obviously went 2-0. They curb stomped Fnatic. It wasn't even fair. It was like top lane difference, mid lane difference, jungle difference. I mean, it was just difference all the way around the map. And with that much difference, it literally looked like they were just smurfing on stage. And then against Schalke, they also looked like they were just smurfing on stage. I mean, this is why I had them in my 3rd place for the power rankings coming into the split, was because Upset, really great individual AD carry. Nukeduck, also a really good individual mid laner, and I think that they have always longed to look for a really good other counterpart on their own individual map that has actually been able to hold their own, and now you have that. Alfari played great, Xerxes played great. This whole team played to another standard that I have not seen yet, and they did it with an oceanic support. I mean, Destiny still has to learn the ropes of the LEC, but I thought he looked pretty good, though. So, Origen played the best out of all the teams this week. They played absolutely incredible. Origen fans should be really happy they got this roster, actually. Alright, so which is the last few teams? Fnatic. So Fnatic got absolutely fisted in their buttholes by Origen. It wasn't even close. I mean, maybe it's just, day one jitters. This roster has a lot of hype going into it. They have a lot of fan expectations to meet these standards. And when I saw Selfmade play, I was like, this is not the same Selfmade I saw from SK last year when he was just popping off consistently. But it is week 1, and, it's, playing with a new roster. Definitely, you have to kind of see what your limits are. Some players might just not like the things you do, so you have to kind of figure out what they're okay with. And he is the newer kind of guy on the roster, so let's see where these players actually mesh together. I do see some synergy issues, and that's a worrying concern at the moment for me. But nothing else. I still think that they're going to finish the split pretty strong, And yeah, I'm actually still not gonna downplay them and say they're the worst team, but I am casually optimistic about them. And Bwipo, I mean, played better, but that was just a clear top lane difference from Alphari. I mean, Alphari is better, so, I mean, you have to expect that. Alright, so, last team is G2, my team, G2 Esports, obviously. I love them just as much as I love Cloud9. And Caps role swapping to AD carry. You saw it's hard to say, though. You saw where he was individually great at doing things, like those Xayah outplays that he was doing. The team fights he played great. I think that he needs to improve the laning phase, and I overall think that he's a pretty good ADC. I mean, Yanko's played well, Wonder played well, Mickey EX was kind of running it down, Perks was, not as standoutish, due to the fact that he has now played mid lane, an entire year on the stage, so I expected that, but Caps, being the AD carry for the spring split, played great. Laning phase and learning the bot lane priority for what you need to do as a bot laner, I think needs improvement. But overall, good things about them include, their macro actually improved. Last year, they actually talked about that, being the fact that their macro was just completely dog trash. Like, let's be honest, their macro was terrible. Like, if they lost early on, they just lost. And they were losing the games at certain points to the point where you could understand that they were playing macro to get out of those situations, and that's something that I saw. But that's it for the LEC Spring Split Week 1 thoughts and opinions and recap. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. What was your biggest surprise from the LEC Week 1? What was your favorite team to watch? What is your favorite LEC team? And as you guys know, I'm really happy that these other orgs made better moves to have better results during the year. And I'm really happy to see all these rookies in. Some rookies played better than others, not gonna lie. But I'm really, really happy to see League start up. And I'm really happy to see my boys G2 starting off 2-0 with their new ADC. Technically. So, see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.